see it. And so, Isaiah 60 and verse 2. I was sitting at the desk yesterday, then the Lord spoke this to me. Said, used in the dark. That's our subject. I was like, wow. I said, Lord, I've never seen this before, but he began to show me. So that's our subject, used in the dark. Then he showed me how you can be hidden when he's using you, that he has not brought the light on you yet. So just like God showed me that he got us kind of hide out until he brings the light on us.
You said Isaiah 60?
Yeah, Isaiah 60 in verse 2. Yeah, because I was sitting at the desk, the Lord spoke this to me, and he started taking me to the verses, showing me used in the dark.
That's the title?
Yeah, used in the dark.
Used in the dark?
Yeah, used in the dark. So used in the dark. That means, you know, the Most High using you in the dark.
You said Isaiah...
Isaiah 60.
Verse 2. Okay.
Everyone's there? Everyone?
Yes.
All right. And so we're going to bring this out. So, and start out with verse 6. Then we'll go to Psalms 23. Psalms 23. Y'all see it?
Glory.
All right. So I'm starting out with verse. So we're in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 2. So right here. So this lets you establish that the world's in darkness, right? And that Israel is in darkness. So right here, verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, right? So the people is talking about Israel. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. That's all talking about the kingdom, right? And so that's the future prophecy. So, but we're establishing this to show that the world's in darkness. So go into what's called it Psalms 23. And I will read all those verses from starting from 1 to 4.
Okay.
To 4. So 4 is our number one verse that's going to connect with this. But we want to get all of it there, going all the way to 4, all the way from 1 to 4. And then I will go to Psalms chapter, I think it's chapter 107, is it? 107.
Where?
107. Psalms 107 after that. So everybody's ready? And so Psalms, not there yet.
Oh, that's after that, or that's right?
No,
After.
Oh, okay,
After.
okay, all right.
So 23, Psalms 23, start out with 1, going all the way to 4. So everybody's ready? So I'll go to 4. So I'll start out with 1. And the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And verse 2, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, right? And go to 3, he restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Then you go to 4. 4, yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So pretty much you're talking about the law conferences, right?
Yep.
In the land of our captivity, because that's what darkness is, right? So the land of darkness, the shadow of death, is your land of captivity. And so then you go into what's called Psalms 107. And verse 10 and 11 and 12. Those 3 verses. So 10 and 11 and 12 in Psalms chapter 107. 107. Right?
You mean, Psalm 107?
Yeah, 107, Psalm 107. So we establish what darkness is in the land of darkness. Then we're going to do some precepts to establish the light. What the light is, right? So we right now doing precept here, show you the darkness. Right? So everyone's ready? All right, and so verse 10, and going on to verse 11 and 12. And so 10, such as sit in darkness and the shadow of death, being bound in affliction and harm. So we know that's slavery, right? So being in captivity. So right here in 11, because they rebel against the words of Yah and contaminate the counsel of the Most High. Verse 12, therefore he brought down their heart with labor. They fell down and there was none to help. Just like when we labored in Egypt, right? Even the Americas in slavery. And so all that is in the shadow of death, right? In these land. So now we establish that with darkness. Now let's go to some scriptures of the light. So let's go to what's called Proverbs 6:23, because that tells you the law is light, right?
What was it again?
Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23. It's amazing about that scripture. When I was in Christianity, in church, I never heard pastors bring that out. And 6:23, I never heard no one bring that out. About the law is light, never heard no one did it.
Have you been Pastor Tim?
I haven't heard nobody bring it out. As long as I've been in church and been around pastors, I have never heard no one bring that out.
Why are they, why do they avoid that? Well, let's take a good look at it.
Because I know in Christianity, I know they're not too much upon the law. They're really more about grace, right?
Well,
In church, because you always hear that, we under grace, not under the law, right? And so, but I noticed I never heard that scripture too much in church.
about this scripture.
Yeah, and they never precept it either. And well, they don't do
You're
precept.
right, you're right. But still, they don't bring this out.
Yeah, never heard.
I wonder why.
I have never heard no one bring it out. I heard them bring out other scriptures, but never that.
I think I may have the reason why. Law is light.
Yeah. Yeah. So 6:23, right?
Yes.
Okay, 623?
Yeah. So right here, 6:23, and then God is putting on my spirit to go to Matthew when Christ said that we'll be lights on the hill. It's 5:14.
5:14.
And so right here, so 6 and 23, 6:23, right?
Yeah.
6:23. And so as much as we bring this scripture out here, I think that you probably remember it.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Jimmy, very clear.
So Jimmy, you probably remember that right
yeah,
by
no
now. But 6:23. And this also precept with Revelations 12:1.
12, I'll put that down here.
Revelation.
Yes, Revelations 12:1.
All right.
So y'all see it. So I'm going to read it. So 23. For the commandment is a lamp. That's still light. That's still talking about light. And the law is light, right? And reproofs of instructions are the way of life. And so if you go into there, when he talk about the lamp, he always talk about it with the feet, right?
Yes.
Because if you go to Psalms 119, he's talking about it will be a lamp to your feet.
Right.
Because we can go there, Psalms
I'll
119.
put that down.
Because when he talks about the lamp, that's to your feet, right? So that you will know where you're going. So that means that everything else in this kingdom is dark. So you have to have the lamp to guide your feet. Even though you may just take a picture. Just paint the picture. Just imagine it's just dark outside. You don't know where you're going.
Okay, it could be bad.
But you see the lamp guiding your footsteps, and you have to watch the steps so that you know where you're going. And so you got to keep on watching the lamp. So once you take the step, it will get you to the place where the Most High wants you to get, right? Even though you don't see nothing outside because it's pitch dark, but you only see footsteps. It's lighting your footsteps up. That's what the lamp is doing. And so let me go to Psalms 119. And so Psalms 119 is the longest book in Psalms. And so that's in verse 105. Is in verse 105.
105. Ooh, that is a long one. Yes.
Yeah. And so this right here tell you that the lamp will be a lamp unto your feet.
Yes. I love that. I love this.
Yeah. And so this also this all precept with Revelations 12, right?
Yeah.
So we came from showing you being in darkness. Now we're seeing the light. So a lot of people really don't realize how dark it is out here. Because the way he's saying how dark it is, that is pitch dark. And you only can have the lamp to guide your feet. And the law's got to guide you, right?
Yeah.
So right here in 105, so Psalms 119. So I think Psalms 119, that chapter probably become your favorite chapter.
Yes.
Because it speaks about the law. The law is truth, right?
Yeah.
So right here in 105, right, 105. So thy word is a lamp unto my feet, see? And a light unto my path.
Yep.
See? So why did he say it had to be a light to your path? Because it's dark. You
Yeah.
don't know, you don't see nothing.
Right, it's just pitch black.
Especially in this kingdom,
Yeah.
that everything's dark.
Yeah.
And so, but they trying to say it's light though, but there's no light though.
No, there's no light.
And so right here, and I want to go to Revelations 12. And so it's that first verse in Revelation. So I'm laying the foundation here. Because then we're gonna go and we're gonna go. I think it's in Genesis that we'll bring out about Joseph. So what's called it the first verse. So this is all talking about the law. It's talking about the light. It's talking about the lamp. All in this one verse. And that's talking about the woman. That's Israel. So he keeps telling you in the Bible that he gave his laws, his word to Israel, right?
Yeah.
And people haven't caught on to that, right? Because people, even though they might, if they did catch on it, that means you don't have to go to these college universities.
True.
Just go to an Israelite that knows the truth and sit with them, and then you'll learn a whole lot with them.
Yes.
Rather than going to these theology schools, right? So in 12:1, right?
Yeah.
12:1, Revelations 12:1, right? So right here, he said, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, right? So we're talking about heaven, that's really talking about the earth. And so a woman clothed with the sun and the moon. So the sun, that's the law.
Yeah.
That's the light. And on the moon under her feet, see, that's the lamp.
That's the lamp.
That's the lamp. And up on her head a crown of 12 stars, that's the 12 tribes.
Right.
So all this is all talking about Israel, right? And he talked about he gave the law to us, Israel.
True.
So the light, so the sun is the light, so the moon is the lamp under the feet, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have both. You got to have the sun and the moon.
True.
You got to have the light, which is the moon, and I mean, which is the sun, and you got to have the lamp, which is the moon, right?
Yes.
So we break that down right there. So now we know the light, right? Oh yeah, before I was told to go to Genesis, we wanted to go to Matthew 5:14.
Right.
Because also Christ says something very powerful in this, that he also tells the Israelites that we are the light, right? We are the light. Yeah, 14. So 5:14 in Matthew 5:14. You see it?
Oh, you said in Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew 5:14.
Okay. I thought you said Genesis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did say Genesis, but we later after that. So 5:14, right?
Yeah.
So 5:14. So right here. So when you see this, Christ is teaching, he's teaching the law. I said, wow. When God showed me that, I said, wow, the church don't. I said, wow. I don't think people know what he was teaching. Christ was teaching. And the Lord showed me another verse with, and we're talking about, he said, blessed are those who hunger after righteousness. It's also I think it's in the Sirach, that he said that if you love Yehuda, you should be filled with the law.
Wow.
I was like, wow. So Christ was teaching the law. He didn't come just teaching his own words.
True.
And so I was like, wow. So in 5:14, right? 5:14. Y'all over there, y'all got it over there?
Yes.
And so, don't want to, leave nobody behind. And so by the 14, so 14, ye are the light of the world. So he's telling Israel, you are the light of the
Oh,
world.
let me get that.
See?
Yes.
And a city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. That precept comes out of Isaiah 2 in verse 2, right?
Yeah.
So when he's talking about the city on the hill, so he said, you are the light of the world, but we can't be the light of the world if we reject his law, though. We can't be the light of the world. And so, like they used to sing that song in church all the time, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. They used to sing that a lot, but I don't think they knew what they were singing
No, they don't know
about.
what you're saying.
Because a lot of people was not living it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing it, not living
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. They sing
Yeah.
it, not living it.
And so I know y'all heard that song a lot. I know we heard that song a lot in church.
I heard it in my,
Yeah.
back in my days, way back in the
Right.
70s.
Yeah, many times in church.
Way back in the 70s.
Yeah, back in the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
Depending on what minister we had.
Yeah. And a lot of people were singing it, but still was in sin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They were. Yeah. They,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Sing it,
so,
but sing it. Yeah. They living in sin. Yeah.
so y'all see it?
Mhm.
So we bring it out. So I'll read it again. Read it again in 5:14. Ye are the light of the world. So he telling us that we won't be the light of the world. And a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. So since I said that goes with Isaiah 2, I would go there.
Oh, Isaiah 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, alrighty.
Because when you read that too, that's talking about the city, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
So, and that's when the prophecy that hasn't came to pass yet, but that's when Christ will come and he'll establish the kingdom, right?
You said Isaiah 2, chapter 2, yeah? Okay.
So it's verse 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Isaiah 2:2.
Yeah.
So right here in 2:2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills. See, the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So that's what Christ was quoting. He was quoting
Yes, he
that
was. Yes,
right
he was.
there.
Yes.
And so, ain't that amazing? So you do have to go to the Old Testament to know what he's talking about.
True.
Yeah.
But in churches, most people don't do that.
Because the minister was not teaching them.
Right.
Yeah. And so there, the Lord had me to lay that down. So now, let's see. Yeah, but I had Genesis 40 and 5 and 6 and 7 those verses.
Genesis 40.
Yeah, chapter
Genesis
40 and verse 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
Okay, Genesis 40,
And
verse 5.
reason why,
5 to 8.
yeah, reason why I'm going this way is because what the Lord told me at my desk, and he told me, and I was like, oh Lord, I never heard this before. And he told me, he said that when Joseph was in the jail, when he was using him, he said he was in the dark.
Yeah, because dungeons are dark.
Yeah, and then when he told me about being in the dark, because he said nobody really knew him, it's like he was hiding him. And I'll show you what is going, where we're going to. Let's see. Yeah, 40. And start out with 5, verse 5. You see it?
Okay, you said Genesis 40, verse 5?
Yeah.
I got that, yeah.
40 and 5. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
So 40 and 5. Y'all see it? Everybody's there, y'all on that side. Y'all ready? So, and right here in 40 and 5. I'm going to read it 40 to 5, and I'll be reading a couple of verses on down. So right here in 5. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream, and one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And 6, and Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. Go to verse 7. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the word of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? And verse 8, and they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. Go down to verse 9. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters therefore brought forth ripe grapes. Go to verse 11. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. You go to verse 12. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are the 3 days. And I'll go down to read on down 13, and we'll read on. And so 13, yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee into thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former matter, when thou wast his butler. 14, but think on, this is what Joseph is saying, but think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this place. And you go to 15, for indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. Notice he said he was stolen out of the land of the Hebrews. And here also have I done nothing that they should not put me into the dungeon. So he's in the dungeon, right? And so that right there, and I will jump over to 41, chapter 41. Y'all see it?
41?
Yeah, 41.
Is it Genesis 41?
Genesis 41. Genesis 41. Yeah. Genesis 41. Y'all see it? And go to verse 5. Verse 5, we'll read on down to a couple. We'll read on down pretty much to 14. Y'all see it? All right. And 5, and he slept and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good, and behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. Talking about Pharaoh's dream. And the 7 thin ears devoured the seven rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And go to verse 8. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of the musicians of Egypt, and all the wise men therefore. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. And verse 9, then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. And go to 10. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward, and the captain of the guard's house bathed me, and the chief baker. And 11, we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And go to verse 12. There was there with us, so this is the chief baker. He's like shining a light on Joseph, because he was being used in the dark, right? And so right here, and there was there with us a young man in Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret it. And 3, it came to pass that as he interpreted to us, so it was me, he restored it unto me, my office, and him he hanged. Go to 14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. Then you go to 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard, notice he said, I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. Now the light's being shined on him, and so the Lord is bringing him out of the dark, shining the light on him, right? And go back to verse 9. I had a precept that God showed me to go with this. And so in verse 9, then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. So he's like, shining the light on him now, right? To Pharaoh. Now go to Matthew 10 and 26. So Matthew 10 and 26. Matthew 10 and 26. So this also goes along with the dreams that God showed me. Because he showed me being around a lot of people. But I seen like he had black shadows around. And like he had black shadows around us, that he was hiding us. That the people didn't see us yet. And see what we were doing. And he was hiding us until he gonna bring us out. So right here, and Matthew 10 and 26, you see it? And so 10:26, you see it? And pretty much when you read this, it's just like, what is in the dark will come to the light. What's in the dark will come to the light. So right here in 26, you see it? And fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed. So Christ is saying there's nothing covered that won't be revealed. And so in the visions that God was showing me, I seemed like he was covering us. And it was like some dark shadows around us that people could not see us. Because he didn't want us to be out there yet. that he'll bring us out. Y'all getting this? Because he showed me these visions, and so even though a lot of us, we may want to get out the yet now, but he's still hiding us. He didn't bring us out yet. He didn't want us to get, because also sometimes if he brings it out so quick, it can probably destroy what God is trying to bring out first, and what he wants to do. And so just like Moses, he hid him in Pharaoh's house, right? And so God hid him into the time that he will bring him out. And so right here in 26, so Matthew 26, verse 26, it's chapter 10, 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. So he said all that. So pretty much what's in the dark will come to the light. And so the Lord was telling me that many of us, we are being used in the dark right now, because he don't want you to be exposed to it. Because also it's like the enemy will try to destroy what God is trying to do with you right now. Because also once he brings us out, it's going to blow your mind what he has for us. You know, because it's like you have no ideas what God really has for us and what he's gonna do. Right now, we are in the dark because we don't have no clue what he's really doing. Right? And I can take you to Paul. God called him in the dark, Apostle Paul, and that's in the book of Acts, right? Because, you know, Paul was so used to doing things his way, right? Because he was very educated, and he was, you know, he knew the law. He was educated in things and stuff. And so the Lord had to tear him down. Now break, because when God calls you, he tears down your foundation that you had. Don't he? He tears down your foundation that you had. Everything that you thought you knew. And then he teaches you over and over again. And he has to establish the foundation that he's giving you. And so the Lord, then he also teaches you to follow him and to be led in the dark. It's like he's taking your hand and he's leading you, but you don't quite see where he's taking you at. And so that's where you see when you got the lamp, you got to keep looking at the lamp, right? Knowing where your footsteps is going. Sometimes the Most High won't tell you where he's taking you until he gets you there. That's what it was like when he moved us here. He didn't tell us where he was moving us here until we got here. Right? And so the Lord was telling us he got a surprise. And so sometimes you got a surprise when he gets you there, then blow your mind, right? Because like a lot of us, we have our own mindsets. And we thought Ducoin. But God took us out of Ducoin. And as soon as we got here, we thought we're going to open the door and get into the building, right? He shut that door, right? And so the Lord's, he had a different plan. And so it's also in the book of Proverbs, it said that in man's mind, they devise their plans. What does devise mean? I look up the word devise, it means plan. They planned in their mind how their life's going to be. But the word says that, but then God directs your path. He directs your path, right? So I wanted to bring out that scripture is when God was dealing with Ananias. And that's when God blinded what's called Saul, which is Paul. So you see that God was calling him in the dark. And he had no idea where God was going to take him. Oh yeah, there we go. It's in chapter 9 in Acts. And we can start at what's called Let's start with 3. And we'll read on down. Let's start with 3. Y'all see it?
You said Acts.
Acts chapter 9.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And so we'll start out with verse 3. And we'll read down some couple verses. And we'll read out, you'll see when God's dealing with Ananias. So God is calling Paul in the dark, right? He's calling him in the dark. So he's trying to teach him a lesson. He keep him in the dark. So he's trying to teach him to be led, right? Be led. And so that's the sheep. The sheep have to be led, right? And so we know the wolves, they just do their own thing and they go in their own packs, you know, and they follow their hunger, their appetite, right? But we don't want to be a wolf. We want to be sheep, that we're being led, right? And so this is some good teaching though. But so the Lord, so in Acts 9 and 3, right? And so 3, and pretty much this right here, I was like, wow, when the Lord, so now I see, and now it'll give me some understanding mostly to some of the dreams that he was showing me. Because I was seeing a lot of the dreams that I would see around people, but then I see like, it's like some dark that he had like covered around, even though the people were talking to us, talking to me, he was hiding us even in the midst of the people. So God could be hiding you even in the midst of the people. He's awesome God. So he'll hide you. And so it's a lot of scriptures that talk about him hiding you, in the time of trouble, all right? But this is not, he's not hiding you in the midst of trouble. He's hiding you because he's not bringing you out yet, but he's getting ready to bring you out. And so right here in 3, and as journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. So this light is blinding Saul, right? And so in 4, and he fell to the ground. So that light, he blinded him. So he loses his sight through this light, right? And so right there, and he fell on the earth and heard a voice from saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? See? Then go to verse 5 and said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yeshua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. 6. And trembling and astonished said the Lord. What is it? That's like, sometimes the Lord will keep you in the dark. That's what I'm hearing. He says sometimes he'll keep you in the dark until he gives you more instruction. Because once you get the instruction, that's light, right? But when you don't know what to do, you're still in the dark. Because you don't know what he's getting ready to do. And you don't know which way he's taking you. And sometimes that's frustrating to a lot of us. And because we like, Lord, when are you going to speak to me now? When are you going to show me what, and so sometimes the Lord, he'll leave you there. Then it's like sometimes he'll leave you there. And then like a couple of days, next, then he'll speak it to you. You know? See, a lot of us, we so used to having it now, right? We ain't used to, waiting on the Lord to show us that and to take us to the next direction. We want it, just go with it. Go with it now. We want to get it done now. We want to go, and so that tears everything down. He tears down that so that you would be led by him, right? So right here, so in verse 5 again, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yeshua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And 6, and he trembling, astonished said, Lord, what would thou have me to do? So now he knows now, he shut down. The Most High done shut him down. Christ shut Paul down. And now Now he's to the place he's humbled down now, and he's saying, what will you have me to do? And so right here he's trembling and as astonished and said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. Notice he gave him one instruction. Now arise, go to the city. Then it will be told to you what to do. So he had to go to the city and wait for the next instruction, right? So let's go on down. I'm going to read on down to the 7th verse, and we're going to go all the way down to 7 and 12. Y'all see it? 7 and 12. So I'm going to read 7 and read on down. Y'all are all right? So is this helping today? All right. So I know I wasn't planning this. The Lord spoke this out to me at the desk, and I said, wow. And I said, Lord, I never heard this before. And he said, used in the dark. He said, there's a lot of people that he's using, but there's some of them he's using that's in the dark that he haven't brought out yet. And so, but when he bring them out, the Lord told me when he bring you out, everyone will know you, because then the light will be shining on you bright. That's what he told me. And so right here, and so 7, and the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. And verse 8, Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man. But they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. So he's still blind, but they led him by the feet. And so, by the hand, I mean. And verse 9, and he was 3 days without sight, see? And neither did eat nor drink, so he fasted 3 days. And 10, and there were a certain disciple of Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, behold, I am here, Lord. And verse 11, and the Lord said unto him, arise and go into the street, which is called Straight. See, like the Lord is giving a lot of instruction in this chapter. So he's giving an instruction to Ananias, telling him where to go to Saul. And so right here, the Lord said unto him, arise and go into the street, which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth. In verse 12, he hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming and putting his hand on him. So the Lord showing him a vision of Ananias coming to him before he even comes to him, to lay hands on him, to open and give him sight, right? And so right there, have seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him that he might receive his sight. And so there's a deep saying in here in this, because it's almost like the Lord will take away your sight away for a time, because when you take away sight, you don't know where you're going. But then he give you instruction, now you have sight, that's vision, right? Because when he gives you instruction, you know where to go, you know what you're doing, then now you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. But when you don't know where you're going, you're in the dark. You're in the dark. And so many times when God starts you off to a new beginning, it's almost like you're in the dark, because you don't know what step to take the next. But it's all good though, because he's gonna bring everything. And notice that God he'll deal with somebody else, just like he's dealing with Ananias. Even though Paul is in the dark right now, not knowing what to do, all he knows is that he's in that city. God told him to go to there, wait until it'll be told. So he had to wait for the next instruction, right? And I remember when I was talking to God used to take me to Melinda, and she was so frustrated with God. And I remember she used to tell me, she said, I wish you would just give me all the instruction and tell me. And I said, God don't work like that. Many times he just give you one word, then you just have to move with that one word. Then you got to wait until he gives you the next instruction. Sometimes he'll just tell you one thing and you're like, whoa, Lord, what? And he just got quiet on you. The Lord just got quiet on you. And you said, Lord, and you like, he just gone. He gone. The Lord, he spoke that one word, he gone. And he ain't saying nothing much to you now. He just gave you that one word. Now you just got to work with that one word, and then you wait for him to give you the next instruction. And so, but I remember I told her, she was so frustrated. She said, I wish God would give me more information. He just gave me a little information. I said, that's how the Lord moves many times. And so many things that he told me many times, I had that one word. And I remember one time he told me this to go somewhere. I had to do it. Then I started moving. Then he gave me the next word when I got there. And I knew, boom, like that. And so that's how the Most High he works, he moves, you know. And you can't change it, because that's how the Lord said, my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways. And so, you know, many of us, we want more information, we want more all that, and but you just got to work that little information that the Most High gave you. Then once you work it, and you get to the destination, he gives you more. He gives you the next word. Because the Bible said that he speak once, twice, right? And so that right there, and so we see this right here, that the Lord's dealing with Paul, right here, Saul. So in verse 12, and have seen in a vision, and a man named Ananias coming and putting his hand on him that he might receive his sight. Then you go to 13. Now Ananias is Ananias. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he have done to thy saints at Jerusalem. So he probably was fearful that he had seen that he put a lot of God's people to death, and he probably was fearful. But the Lord told him to go, right? Because you go down to Go to 14 and 15. They go to 14, and here he have authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. You go to 15. But the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel of me to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. And you go to 16, for I will show him great things he must suffer for my name's sake. See? So he had to be obedient and go, right? Even though he heard terrible things about Saul, right? And so the Lord, even though Saul was in the dark, God was dealing with somebody in another city speaking to him. And the powerful thing about this, we may be sitting here, we don't know. The Most High might be dealing with somebody in another city about us. Y'all know that? He'll be speaking to someone else in the city, and he got you set up. He got you set up already. And you thinking it's here because you can't see what the Most High got for you. But he got you set up already in another city where people are going to receive you. Where people are going to receive you, and they probably talking to, and he dealing with them in visions and telling them about you. Right? But the Lord trying to get you ready so that he can take you there and moving with you, you know, because he already could be dealing with them already, you know. Sometimes we are so focused on where we are at that we don't see what the Most High is doing. We can be focused on our life and say, oh man, Lord, I'm going, I'm just trying to get to the next step. I'm trying to get things going and all that, you know. And but he's dealing with people, you know, that you have no idea that he's dealing with. And because I remember I ran across some people that I didn't even know. They said, the Lord was dealing with me about you and speaking to me about you and all. I said, what? The Lord speaking to you about me? I was like, you don't even know that person, you know. And so the Most High, he's bigger than what we think he is, right? And so, because sometimes we get caught up in our own little box, and we don't see his plan, right? Because if you go to Ephesians 3:20, Ephesians 3:20. This is what Ephesians 3:20 says. Ephesians 3:20 says. And so, is this helping anybody today? And so, am I speaking the right message today? But I just know that I had other things, but I was at the desk. He interrupted me and spoke this to me, and I had to go with what he told me. And so that's what I'm going with the Lord, and so it pretty much shows me where He's doing with us, and because the Lord showed me that He hasn't brought us out yet. It's like He's still been hiding us, and because when He brings us out, people gonna know us. People's gonna know us when He brings us out, and He shined the light on us, and then because this is what He showed me. When He shined the light on us, remember Christ said, He said, no one can come to me unless the Father draw them, right? So once the Father shined the light on us, He started to draw them in, and people gonna see the light on them. So because when God now shined the light on Joseph now people know about him. They knew about him. They knew that now he's in that powerful position. Now they coming to him. Now they coming to him for food. They coming to him for water. They coming to him for everything, right? Because now the Lord, he put him in that place, right? But for a while he was in darkness. Even though he was in dark, and God was using him, but then He said He shined the light on him now. Shined the light on him, and He let Pharaoh know his gift, that he was able to interpret gift. Because Pharaoh said, I heard that you interpret dreams. Because he heard what's called the butler told him. So God used that butler to shine the light on him. You know, because it wasn't dark. Nobody knew nothing about Joseph. Nobody knew nothing about. And so Pharaoh didn't know nothing about Joseph until that butler told him. You know, and he said, I heard you can interpret dreams. So my dream. So he told him his dream, right? And so just like God showed, you know, that He will shine the light on us, that He'll bring us into the place where He wants us to be. And that makes perfect, because God was showing me, I seen a couple of visions, and He showed me a vision that I was in a church, and these were people that I knew way back, and with Pastor Dickerson and them and all that back in DuQuoin, and he showed me a vision. I was in there, and He showed me that I had like these black shadows all around me, and they couldn't see me in the spirit realm because the Most High was hiding me. And so, and I seen in the vision that people were talking to me like I was not even a minister. And they were, because they couldn't see me as a minister. And because God was hiding me. Then God showed me another vision. He showed me a vision that I was like in the city. And I seen a lot of Christian people. And they seen me. But then when they seen me, they couldn't see me though. Don't that make sense? I'm trying to break it down. When they see me though, they couldn't really see me. What I mean, they couldn't see who I am in the Most High, and how the Lord got me at. Because then when I was seeing them, I seen these shadows, these dark shadows. They all wrapped around me, and He was hiding me, and they couldn't see me. And so they didn't know where I was at in the spirit. They didn't know how deep I was in the spirit, and all that. They didn't know nothing. They treated me like I was just nobody. That's what in the vision. And God showed me that. And then I was like, Lord, what's going on? He said, I'm still hiding you. And you know, they're hiding. You know. And so then, Lord, I pretty much understand now. He said that reason why, because He didn't want the enemy to destroy what He was trying to do. And when He bring you out, that He bring you out in the right time. Makes perfect sense. And so I seen these visions, and I seen visions that God was hiding us. I seen that not just me, I seen all of us, and I seen him hiding us, that the people didn't know who we really was. And so I know he's doing that for a reason, because he didn't want those people trying to destroy, because God showed me something that I was telling them before we came in. The Lord told me this, a lot of our family peoples, they've been fighting against us. And then when I was praying within the weeks, the Lord told me this: you got more enemies than you think you do. That's what he told me. He said, you got more enemies. And he said that they've been fighting to try to stop. And he said it's some of them that's been speaking stuff. That if you can go into Isaiah 10 and that verse 1, and I'll show you it's in Isaiah 10. But the Lord told me this, it blew my mind when I was praying within weeks, and he told me this. He said, you have more enemies than what you think. He said, your enemies have been trying to stop you and trying to shut you down. And he said that's also why he said I moved you. And he said your enemies thought you was done. That's what he told me. He said your enemies thought you was done. They didn't think you were gonna do anything. They didn't think you were gonna rise up. He said they thought you were just done. But he said, but I took you out. And he said, now I'm gonna take you to a whole new area. And he said, now you can build freshly there. Because he said their spirits is against this and stuff, He said their spirits is against it. But when you see them, they look like they all nice and they all friendly to you. But he said they doing stuff in private. And that's when you go into Isaiah 10, the verse 1. Because it said the unrighteous, they decree wicked things against you. So it's like they wishing stuff on you. Say, oh, I wish he ain't gonna never make it. He ain't gonna get nowhere and all that. I speak that, and they speaking stuff, and stuff, And so I was like, Lord, that's what the Lord told me. I said, Lord, I didn't know I had that much enemies. I said, I didn't know I had that much enemies and stuff. And Lord, he said, that's why you see stuff that's been kind of held up and all that. He said, because they fighting against it. And they really were fighting down in New Horn, and Apostle Tim told me when I was in outside. He told me this when I was in the church and I was outside. He said, Paul, they fighting against you, man. The church. He said, they was fighting against what God called you to do. And then he told me the church was jealous. They was jealous of Duke Horn, and and I was like, wow, And I wasn't up on all that, but seeing all that, and so if all that going on, I know God doing something, and so because they have so many people fighting, they fighting against you, and trying to stop what God is doing, and so it's crazy. It's crazy that you never thought people would get to have that kind of spirit, but it's that way. Well, it happened to David, right? King Saul was coming against David, and he was trying to kill David, and so those are nothing. I just look at them as they nothing but Saul spirits. They're trying to stop what God doing with you, And so right here in Isaiah 10:1, so it said right here, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. See? So we may not think. And there was a prophet that gave me a word, and he told me, he said there was somebody that was wicked that was among you, that was doing secret stuff and speaking witchcraft, and they trying to stop you and all that and stuff. But then the Lord, he told me that, like the last week, he said that you have more enemies than you think you do. He said a lot of them act like they're your friend when they're around you. That's what he said. Because they're not going to show you the true colors of this. But if you were in the Lord, he'll expose that spirit. I'm just telling you what the Lord showed me and what He told me and stuff. And so, because some of us, we probably been wondering why we haven't seen nothing happen, that we have not seen some more manifestations going on. There's a warfare going on, and there's some of your people that you think that your friends, they are decreeing unrighteous stuff to try to stop you. You know, they're fighting you in the spirit. You know, and I pray that God will show you these things in the vision, because the Lord showed me these things, and I know God showed Tanamir. He showed some of them. You know, they seeing that there's fighting going on. People are fighting, and I know you felt at that time when your mom passed away, Jimmy. You felt all that tension at that homegoing. Because the people fighting, they were fighting, and they fighting against what God was doing, because God was doing something, you know. And they all turned their heads at us, and they looking and whispering and saying stuff, and so all that was going on, and so all that, and at that same time, that's when God showed me. He took me in a vision, and He took me and He hid me from all the attacks, because in that vision I seen all the tigers coming at me and trying to come at me and attack me. And then that's when this man in the forest, he came out the house and he shielded me up. He put a sheet all around me and hid me. He hid me, and no one could see where I was at. And I seen that in the vision and stuff. And so everything that He's showing me now, I can see. And so now you can see He's cutting a lot of things off too. And the Lord was bringing back to me when I took a shower this week. I mean, not this week, but I mean this morning. And He was bringing back to me all the people He cut off. And I was like, wow. And so the Lord showed me those people weren't with you in the first place anyway. And so He cut them off. So the people that's not with us, He cut them off, He did. If they're not here, he cut them off. That's what He showed me in. I said, oh. And so I'm not going to call no name, but He showed me that some of the people that He cut off, He did us a favor by cutting them off. But He said they weren't no good for us anyway, you know. And so now He got the people in here that's righteous, that He can build something with, that God can build something with, and so that then He'll bring the right people around. Because most of the people that God showed me, some of them hang around because the gifts. Because they see that you can hear from God, and you can, they pray that you can pray. Most of them will come around because when trouble hit them, He showed me that some of them people come around when trouble hit them, and they want, oh, well, can you pray for me? And you know, I need a breakthrough. Can you pray for me to get a house? Can you pray for me to get a job? Can you pray for me and all that? But then after things get good, you don't see them. You don't see them around. You know. So He cut them people off. He did. He cut them people off. Because God, see, they not serious. They not serious at all. You know, serious about Him. You know, they just want you to pray for them to have a job. That you pray for them to get a house. And then those things, all those things are good. Then when things are good, you don't see them. But when trouble hit again, you see them again. You see them again, and knocking at the door, saying, I need some prayer, I need you to pray for me. You know, and I've seen that. We've seen that over and over. Now we've seen the Lord remove and cut them off. You've seen Him cut them off. And so the Most High is cutting a lot of people off now. And I know that you got to see that He's getting serious, that because it's almost that time, right? That He's coming back, right? And so I'll be scared about those people right now. These people playing around, they're not serious and all that. The Most High is cutting people off, and He's sending tornadoes and a lot of stuff that's happening in the earth. It's scary right now, you know. And so I'm scared that to do, to be doing stuff, and I'm scared because I see His laws and I see His judgments. Because I don't want to go through that. I said, Lord, I'd rather be with the Lord and all that. Because I know I'm seeing people getting cut off. I'm seeing things happening to people. And so many people don't understand what's going on with them. And it's happening to them fast. I mean, it's happening to them faster now. That's when you see the time is winding down. You know, Shaq. So I know y'all probably see it. Do y'all see it? You see how the Most High is cutting people off. He's cutting a lot. So he's gonna cut off the people that are not serious, and he's gonna cut off the people that just playing around. Because all they doing is they gonna waste our time. They're gonna waste our time because God, He wants people that's gonna really be about Him, and that we gonna build. You can't build nothing with people who ain't serious. You right? And so the Lord. So I hope that this is helpful today, right? And so I know it's helping me because when the Lord showed me about this, and I said, "Oh Lord," now I see, and because then the Lord, because I told him this. God showed me this vision. I know that I told y'all. God showed me the vision that He put me over to Israel, and the woman, and I had to watch where she's at. But then I got on my knees and prayed in the morning. Then the Lord spoke to this. He spoke this to me. He said, "Your seat has been saved." And I was like, he said that when I was praying. He said, "Your seat has been saved." And so I said, "Oh." And then he told me, he said, "What are you worried about?" He said, "I got everything and control and all and moving and stuff." He said, "It's just moving at the pace He has it." That's what He was telling me. He said, "Cause I was like, oh Lord, cause you know, sometimes you say, Lord, it seems like things are moving slow and all that." But the Lord told me, He said, "What are you worried about?" He said, "I'm moving, you know." But He said, "But I got to get everything fixed. Everything got to be in order." That's He told me everything that He start moving, then He'll ship us, you know. That's what He told me. And so I said, well, and so Lord, I'm just going to leave it in your hand. You know, you doing it, you know, because He told me that. And so, then the Lord told me this. He said, "Have not taken care of you, and you have, as you've been doing the will." He said, you didn't have to worry about nothing. And so that's what the Lord told me. So I said, wow. So then He said, "Have everything you asked me for, I gave it to you." And so I said, well, I just give it to the Lord, you know. And so the Lord, because even the Lord told me many times, He told me when I needed money, go to the city. And I went to the city. He came through strangers, put money in my hand. And the Lord told me this. He said, and He told me this, it blew my mind. He said, because you've been faithful, you're not going to have to struggle. So I said, I'm just going to trust the Most High. And the Lord told me, just do my work. Just do what I called you to do. He said, I'll take care of everything. That's what He told me. You know. And so I don't know about anybody else, and what other preachers are and all that, but I just know about what He told me. And what, you know, so I'm not them, and so I don't know how their life is and all that, but I just know what He's telling me. So I said, Lord, I just want to do what You tell me to do, you know. And so the Lord told me He got everything, you know. And so, because He told me sometimes, He said, "What you worried about? I got this." That's what He told me. I'm just telling you what He told me. You know, because He get on me sometimes when I start worrying. He said, "What you worried about?" He said, "I got this." Did He do that to y'all? Did He do that to y'all? To the Most High? Did He talk to y'all like that and tell you? Sometimes He said, when you start worrying about things, He said, "What are you worried about?" He said, "I got it." And He told you that before? I remember many times God told me when I was troubled about stuff, and He told me, He said, "Stop worrying about that." He said, "I'm going to take care of that." You know? Because I remember one time I got outside and the Lord told me to go. That was in DuQuoin. And I felt everybody's spirit. I felt them talking about me. I felt all that. And I said, "Lord, people," He said, "stop worrying about that." He said, "I don't want you thinking about that." He said, "I'm going to take care of that. You just go do what I tell you to do." That's what He told me. He said, "You just go do what I tell you to do." That's what he told me. And so I said, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna do what you told me to do. You know? You know, and so I don't know, do God do y'all like that? He talk to you like that? You know?
So, told me to quit worrying about the demons, because I worry about the demons. You know, worry about the demons, I got them. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember you told me that one time, Jimmy. You said the Lord, because you was always worrying about the demons, and you said the Lord told you, stop worrying about the demons and what the demons are doing.
Yeah. I remember that. Because I wasn't worried about the demons, but they was doing things. All kind of stuff happening. I was like, what the? I said, this ain't something ain't right. And I hate to say, I got a little scared actually. And because, you know, the guy said, don't worry about the demons. Don't worry about what they doing. Just worry about me, God said. I said, oh, okay. 'Cause I was really upon them demons. Them demons, ooh, they can do things. I didn't know they can do, boy. Them demons are something else.
Yeah.
And they real, them demons is.
Yeah.
They invisible, but they can do things.
Yeah.
See stuff moving around.
And he didn't want you to be focused on them, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's more Shaq. Go sit down, Shaq. Go sit down, Shaq.
No, don't come try. Just sit.
And so I'm pretty much done after this.
You took us to Ephesians, but you didn't say anything about it.
Oh yeah, Ephesians. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go to there. Ephesians 3:20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got these feet.
Yeah. So 3:20, right?
Excuse me.
Right? Everyone's there. Y'all on that side ready? And, so Ephesians 3:20. And so now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask, above all we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. So that's showing you that many times you may have a picture of something when God is showing you, telling you what He's gonna do, but then when you get to what He's gonna bring, it'd be more than what you thought it was, or what He's doing, and it blows your mind. It'll blow your mind what He's got in store. And so, so none of us here, we really don't know what He has in store until He brings us into it, right? Until He brings us into it. And so this right here, so, you know, I've been praying for a lot of y'all. I've been praying that the Most High will speak to y'all more, that y'all hear His voice more. And so that's what I've been praying for. And so that you will hear His voice more for yourself. And so that, because I know once you hear the Lord and stuff, you'll know the direction what He's taking us and what He's doing. And because He's been speaking to me, showing me things, and a lot of times I said, "Oh Lord, I didn't know it was that way. I didn't know it was that way, and I didn't know a lot of things that." And so then He corrects you too. And I'll tell you, He corrects you. You know, and so because the Lord tell you, no, that's not the way I want it done, right? And so, but He'll tell you, you know, so I'm not doing this on my own. I'm just following the Lord, what the Lord say. You know? And so everyone's, you got your hand up. You got to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. You had your hand up.
I was just giving it to God.
Oh, all right. And so, but the Lord bless. So this good?
Yeah.
So, well, this is what He gave me. So I don't want to go any more beyond what He gave me. So if I do that, it'll just be me doing that. And so, but I'm just gonna close out. And so, Father, we thank you for your word today. And Father, we pray that you'll touch each one right now and that you'll bless them. Father God and Lord, that you will begin to even show them, even as you will begin to open their eyes and that they'll begin to see. Father God, speak to them. Father God, that they hear your voice and hear your direction. Father God, that I know that you will do it because, Lord, I have seen you do it. And so, Father, I pray in the mighty name as we go from here and as you bless the food. Shalom. Shalom.